Hi guys, we are closing in on the final bit on packing for the kayak trip, and one of the things I wanted to share is also what do I bring in terms of clothing. How do I divide my things into clothing when I'm out on these trips? I basically have 4 different sets, so to speak. To take the last set first, then I have a complete set of clothing, clean and really nice scent. It is beautiful. It packs down in a separate bag which has its own color. In this terms I always pack it in blue, so I know that's a set. And that's basically just a set that goes in the bottom of one of my bags, and it stays there the whole trip. It is not for being used on the trip, but once I reach my final destination on my trip, and then before I have to go home, before I have to mingle with the normal civilization, so to speak, I like to take a shower, I like to clean up at least, and then get into some nice good clothing, because after, let's say, 15 days, you are bound to have run through all the clothes you otherwise bring with you, and if you get to your destination and you don't have any clean clothes, it can be unpleasant to be among other people. And we have to be picked up by a family member, I think, and he's going to bring us back the 250, 270 kilometers from the Bumibom Band back to Chiang Mai, and I definitely like that. In addition to that, I always like to celebrate a very successful trip with a cup of coffee, just sit for a moment and absorb the whole experience. And again, it makes for a more comfortable and pleasant experience if you are able to dress up for it. Now for the trip, then I bring a set of clothing, let's start with that I'm wearing out there. The clothing that I'm wearing out there is a good hat, that's very important. I'm considering actually using a bandana under this one too, because I tend to get a little bit sunburned if I'm only using the hat. Its sun rays really comes through. But to protect my neck, then I normally use this camo netting clothing here. It is also, in addition to that, it functions as a very good cooling agent because the wind can go through but the sun cannot, and that protects you from a sunburn but gives you a nice cooling effect. I am wearing this is a North Face shirt. I think it's long sleeved, and I always have the sleeve run down because otherwise you get burned. You get double exposure, not just from the above but also from the reflection of the water. Underneath that one, I like to have one of these very lightweight synthetic material kind of things that does not suck up the sweat but just leave it on. And obviously I have a long pair of trousers also. I have done the mistake of taking it in a piece of shorts or a pair of shorts because I thought that was nice. I soon was to regret that. Now, I don't need a bag for that. So this is the clothing I'll be wearing when I take off. When I'm out there, then I have a spare set of clothing that I use obviously in between. Once you set camp at about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, it might be time, depending on how dirty you got, to wash the clothes that you've been in. Then you have in camp the option of getting dressed in something dry and nice. I usually bring one extra t-shirt. I have a long sleeved synthetic shirt of sort here too, which is snug on the body, but I like it because it leads the sweat away from me, and it heats me in cold condition, but it keeps me cool in warm condition. It's really magical clothing, this one here. A pair of underwear and a pair of shorts. That's it. Between these 2 sets, the set that I'm using in daytime and every time, and this set here, you are actually able to stay clean at the whole trip, and there is no doubt about it. Staying clean at all time is really part of the joy and the fun out there. I know some people will say, come on, it is camping and so on, and yeah, true, we won't be at all time be ready to go out and mingle among the royalties or something like that. We will get smelly, we will get dirty, but there are a certain extent where you can do something about it. In nighttime, I have a special bag for that, and that's also a different color. All of them here are watertight, so they are separately in watertight bags into a dry sack of sort, so it's double protected. These items here are very important that they're dry. But the nighttime thing is a bit tricky, because though you are probably consider Thailand as being one of the hottest countries, and we do have about 30-35 degrees Celsius at this time of the year with a very high humidity too, then nighttime can be cold. And to avoid having too much of an issue, then I use an underquilt that I made myself for my hammock. That is just basically lying under the diagonal side that I'm lying on, so I don't have the chill effect of the wind. It is not insulating the hammock as such. In addition to that, I have a pair of very, very good socks. I mean, look at this. Oh, well, they are fantastic. A present from my daughter. A very nice pair of socks. I better take care of what I say. Now I can't remember. It was from my daughter and my son. Anyway, they are very, very nice, and I need those because as I sometimes at night time when it gets cold, one of the things that I tend to cramp up with is my feet, especially if the temperature drops below 20, and it does that at night time. Then I also have a baklava. It is just nice to protect your neck. I bring a fleece jacket. That is just because you might not go to sleep at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock when the night goes down, the sun goes down. I love to do night photography, for instance, so it's good and important to have something that could keep you warm. This fleece jacket here is really good at it. Then for the sleeping bit, I have one of these synthetic t-shirts again, which are really, really nice. Keep you warm in cold weather, keep you hot in cold weather. Really nice, lightweight and easy. And then I have a simple pair of jogging trousers, really. That's how I sleep in the night time. And as I said, this has a separate bag because this goes together with my underquilt. So when I come to camp and I have these things here color coded, it's very easy for me. I set up my hammock and I grab this color bag and just dump it in the hammock, and now I know everything I need for the night situation. It is right here. I would actually also throw in my night lamp that goes with it, because then it's simple. And like I said, this set of clothing here just goes in the bottom of one of my dry bags that I do not have to reach down to at any time when I'm out there, and then I'll have something nice to get home with. And the rest here, as long as I make sure I do a little bit of a laundry on the trip, I'll be all good. It is absolutely perfect. So that's really all it takes to have a very good trip, as far as I'm concerned anyway. You have a little bit of changing in between and it works. Until next time, stay curious.